As the Kony 2012 video approaches 80 million hits, I find myself wondering about the month of April and what's going to happen when people are wearing the t-shirts and putting up the posters. And I find myself asking, would people be wearing Hitler shirts during the time of Nazi Germany and putting up posters? Would people have worn Osama Bin Laden shirts during the time that he was alive post 9/11? We wouldn't think of doing those types of things. Just the mere mention of these two names alone for people who may have lost families of 9/11, people who may have lost families during the Holocaust or survived that experience themselves. Just this mention of people of these guys can lead to uproars. It can lead to people losing their jobs. It can lead to organizations being condemned and funding being pulled. So the question becomes, why won't we afford this same type of emotion to Africans? Why don't we think about members of the LRA like Miss Evelyn Apokos in the United States who have been scarred by people like Joseph Kony, who have asked that people not wear these shirts? Why can't we think about the fact that there are victims of the LRA who are walking around in the United States who are going to wake up one day in April and see the face of the person who has done them harm? Why don't we afford Africans that same type of response or respect, I should say? Why, at the end of the day, is because many of us in Americans still have this white man's burden mentality of that we have to save the Africans. We always look at the emotions of Africans as distant, as people who we need to come in and save and rescue on a type of Tarzan type of mentality, and this is really not the way to go. It's great for people to want to be engaged in things African, but the operative word at the end of the day is engage, not go in and save, not go in and help. Again, we can talk about Kony all day, but let's talk about the fact that he's no longer in Uganda, and everybody wants to talk about, just like with Hotel Rwanda, these forces just left and went into Congo as if they went up in there and just set up shop. They've gone into these countries and done more damage than they have in other countries. But at the end of the day, it's about policy. It's about Africa policy on Africans. It's about Western policy on Africa as well. People don't want to have that discussion, but because of our slavery experience, because of our experience going into Africa on missionary expeditions, we always have this mentality of we need to save them. And as long as we continue to have that mentality, we're never going to fully look at Africans as equals, as people worthy of engagement. And that is part of the damage that this video has done, as celebrities and other people who can't even find Uganda on the map are retweeting and taking their clothes off and jumping on this bandwagon. So again, people who are often watching the video, I really hope that they think twice about what they're going to be doing in April, because Africans have emotions just like everybody else. And we wouldn't think about wearing an Osama shirt on the streets of New York after 9/11. We need to have some real respect for the human value that Africans possess as well. And unfortunately, in this 24-hour news cycle society, most people just don't want to give it that much effort. As Jeff Johnson said, there are more people dying in some of these countries from malaria than what Kony and other rebel leaders are doing, but that takes too much thought. We just want to put on a shirt and say demand justice. No, we need to demand respect for Africans and really think about how we're going to move forward, because Kony's just a person. Let's talk about policy. Let's look at Africans as human beings. Let's respect them by not bringing up old memories by people who may be walking around on our streets, we call the quote-unquote land of the free, in April, by disrespecting them by putting on shirts of a mass murderer.